This is KGW News at 5.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the pandemic and a concerning figure in Oregon. There are now more than 1,000 people hospitalized with COVID in the state. That's the highest it's been in months, and that has hospitals again sounding the alarm. KGW's Pat Doris talked with an industry leader today. Pat?
Well, Laurel, they last raised the alarm with the Delta variant when so many super sick people were crowding into hospitals. Now with Omicron, they worry it's going to be even worse than that. Let's take a look at this chart, and you can see it's the number of COVID patients statewide who are hospitalized. Those are with confirmed or suspected cases. The far right side shows today it's over 1,000 people. Not as bad as mid-September, but it is getting there. Becky Holtberg is the CEO of the Oregon Association of Hospitals and Healthcare Systems. She said the coming weeks could be bad.
The lack of available hospital beds is pushing the system everywhere to a breaking point. There is good news. The good news is that most patients in the hospital with COVID-19 aren't as sick as they were during the Delta wave. But the sheer number of patients, exacerbated by staffing and discharge challenges, has the potential to overwhelm the healthcare system.
Nobody's looking forward to that for sure. Holtberg said getting vaccinated, keeping your distance from others, and wearing a mask will help. By the way, the state sent 1,200 National Guard troops to various hospitals around the state to try and help with this coming surge. Back to you.
And they certainly are needed. Thank you, Pat. Today, Oregon health officials discussed the future of its indoor mask mandate. A proposal would make the mandate permanent. But in this case, permanent is a legal definition. It doesn't mean you'll have to cover up forever. Under current Oregon law, the mask mandate has a 180-day shelf life. It can't be extended, and it's set to expire early next month unless it's changed from a temporary rule to a permanent one. But health officials say the mandate will still be lifted once it's safe. At a hearing today, many spoke out against the proposal.
I think there's a real issue with imposing this mandate and not letting people decide for themselves.
The Oregon Health Authority will take public comment on this issue through Monday. You can find more information about that at oregon.gov/OHA. Business owners in Beaverton have a chance to get some extra pandemic relief. It's in the form of grants, and applications are now open. Bryant Clerkley is here now. And Bryant, there is a good amount of money here available for business owners, isn't there?
That's right. Hey, Laurel, $2,000 to $10,000 is what will be given out to businesses, and the city says more than 100 businesses applied in the first 24 hours, and that includes the owner of a Beaverton coffee shop.
Rent, payroll, all those things. Last month we spent $700 on rapid tests. I mean, we just have so many more and different expenses than we've ever had.
Lauren Reese and her husband own Lionheart Coffee Company in downtown Beaverton. They applied for pandemic relief grants with the city as soon as applications opened online.
I think, with this new wave and there's not a lot of money out there for people for help, I think we're going to see a lot of businesses closing.
The city's budget for the grant is about $1.8 million with funding from the American Rescue Plan Act. The money will help businesses with utilities, rent, and inventory. They can't have more than 25 employees and have to verify they're losing money because of the pandemic.
And I think for a lot of people, it's going to be the difference of staying open or closing in the next couple months.
The city will decide how much each business will get. Since the start of the pandemic, the city has given out over $4 million in grants to over 450 businesses. This funding is primarily for places like restaurants, salons, gyms, and retail stores.
If we can provide a month or two of rent to a business that's really struggling, it can find a way to stay open for another 2 or 3 months. And we're just hoping that we can get through the pandemic.
The application deadline is February 4th, and the money should be given out a couple weeks after that deadline, and businesses can apply for the grant on the city's website, and we have a link on our page, kgw.com. Laurel?
Bryant Clerkley, thank you so much. We continue to hear from educators about the challenges they're facing because of all the changes brought on by the pandemic, from trying to prioritize the health and needs of students, their families, and themselves, and all year trying to cover for the shortage of staff. After 20 years, this school year will be Carrie Troller's last as a teacher with Portland Public Schools. She says last week's letter from PPS Human Resources sent to all teachers was just the last straw for her. That letter accused some teachers of misusing sick time.
When you feel like the organization that you work for, who I have personal loyalty to, I've been with them for 20 years, like to feel like that amounts to nothing, just really was it for me.
This has been such a tough year. Morale has never been lower amongst teachers.
The Portland Association of Teachers says in a member survey, half said they were considering leaving the profession. New tonight, Portland city workers have voted to authorize a strike. Right now, the District Council of Trade Unions is bargaining with the city. The vote doesn't necessarily mean a strike is imminent, but that the bargaining team can now call for one if negotiations break down. The union rejected Portland's last offer on wages and a cost of living increase. It represents 1,200 city employees. This next story is really just so upsetting. A Northeast Portland man left town to help his mother recover from a medical procedure. And when he got back, he found squatters living in his apartment. The man tells KGW he lost all of his belongings except for a few things. Mike Benner joins us with more. Mike, this just sounds terrible.
You know, it really is, Laurel. It gives a whole new meaning to the saying, no good deed goes unpunished. The man you're about to meet has lost a lot. Of course, he is heartbroken, but he's not letting what he discovered last week skew his perception of the world.
And I just didn't sleep at all for like the first 24 hours.
We'll call this guy Andy for the sake of the story. He's hesitant to share his real name and show his face out of fear of retaliation from the people who he says turned his life upside down.
I was sobbing on the floor.
Sobbing over how his new year has started. And to fully understand, we have to rewind to last year, August to be exact. That's when Andy locked up his apartment at Milepost 5 in Northeast Portland and left town.
My mom triple fractured her elbow, and I was called by the doctor like, you need to come down here right now. She needs somebody to take care of her.
Andy would spend the rest of the year at his mom's side, taking care of her, and perhaps longer had he not received a call from the managers at his apartment complex. They told Andy several people were living in his apartment.
I don't know, it was like my brain flatlined. So I was just like, call the police. No one should be in my unit. I didn't give anybody my key.
Turns out squatters don't need keys. They have other means, and judging by the photos Andy shared with us, the squatters showed no mercy on his place. They trashed it, turned it into a drug den, and got rid of thousands of dollars worth of Andy's possessions.
It was everything I have ever owned in my life, and it was gone, except for my bed and a small stack of books.
Andy lost sentimental things, like a jacket belonging to his late father, and precious photos of a friend who passed. All of it vanished in what's believed to be the 2 weeks the squatters lived in the apartment.
I was just trying to help my mom. This all just happened because I was trying to help my mom.
Andy says there's been one arrest in the case. Police confirm that and say they're looking for more suspects. Andy's hoping they're captured and jailed.
Just for the safety of my neighbors, because these were clearly serial thieves.
As if all of that isn't bad enough, Andy says he recently forgot to renew his renter's insurance, so there's no help there. And at this point, it's unclear what portion of the damage, if any, the apartment complex will pick up. So a GoFundMe has been launched to help Andy get back on his feet. And if you'd like to help, you can find a link to that fundraiser on our website, kgw.com. At last check, thousands of dollars had already been raised. Back to you.
Okay, that is the silver lining. So good to see so many people coming to Andy's aid. Thank you, Mike.